Well, the Yankees made their spring debut today, and we got the first look this spring at Jasson Dominguez, the man they call the Martian, and he had a really impressive day. So we're doing a live stream to talk about it, and then tomorrow we're kicking off the regular post-game show. This is NYY Recaps.
Welcome.
Just when they thought I was out, they pull me back in.
How's it going, everybody? Welcome back. You know, I hadn't planned on going live after today's game. I was saving my debut of the season for tomorrow when the Yankees play at home in Tampa. It's going to be on the Yes app. But I was able to tune into today's game against the Phillies. And the Yankees dropped the game. It was 7-4. They got 6 hits. They gave up 11, but that really wasn't the story. The story was Jasson Dominguez. Now, I was more excited to see Jasson Dominguez play than I have been for any prospect in a long time. Maybe since Phil Hughes. I was a big Phil Hughes guy. And when he made his spring debut, it was kind of an event. Now, Jasson, he's been a story for the Yankees for several years. They gave out this massive bonus, almost their entire international bonus pool to sign him. And he had this cool nickname, the Martian, and there was all this grainy footage. And then the pandemic came, and it kind of interrupted things. And a lot of people thought it interrupted his development. But he turned it up last season in his second full season in the minor leagues. And this year, he's off to a damn good start. And the story, in my opinion, wasn't even the home run. I mean, that's part of the story, but to me, it was the all-around skill set that he put together today. Let's start with his first at-bat. He got ahead in the count 2-0. It was actually 3-0 when he grounded out, but he was ahead 2-0 by taking 2 borderline pitches that were 95-mile-an-hour sinkers just off the outside corner. And to the umpire's credit, he did a nice job calling those pitches that were just off. But for Jasson, a kid who's making his spring debut at just 20 years of age, and barely 20 years of age, by the way, his birthday was just a couple of weeks ago, he could have easily been over-anxious, tried to go out and pull those baseballs and, ground it out softly to second base. That's what would have happened if he had swung at those hard sinkers away. But he took them just off the plate. 3-0, he was swinging, which you typically don't see hitters do very often, but when you do, you want to hit it hard, and he did. 102.7 mile an hour exit velocity on a ground ball to the right side. He hit it just to the right of the first baseman who was playing behind the bag a little bit. And Jasson almost beat him to the bag. He almost beat it out. He showcased hustle. He showcased speed, the impressive eye that we just talked about. And then next time up from the right side. And, when he first got to the pros, a lot of the talk was that he couldn't hit well from the right side. Well, not anymore. He destroyed a high fastball, demolished it over the left field wall. I mean, this thing was crushed 3/4 of the way up this grassy knoll, for lack of a better term. And absolutely no doubt about that ball staying in the ballpark. I know in spring training, sometimes you get wind-assisted home runs. You get guys hitting pop-ups. Remember, Kyle Higashioka hit 7 home runs a couple years ago in spring training. Maybe it was even last year. This wasn't that. This wasn't a ball that caught a southern Florida breeze and drifted out. This ball went, I don't have a number to view. I haven't seen any reports of the exit velocity or the distance, but this ball had to go 430, 440 feet. And it was hit hard. He was all smiles in the dugout. He was bubbling with emotion. You can tell that he's a great kid. I was excited about the Martian before. But somehow now I'm even more excited. Michael Kay used to say that Hideki Matsui, who was nicknamed Godzilla, got that nickname for a reason. You don't get a nickname like Godzilla or the Martian without having the ability to do special things. And you remember when he first got signed, he was playing in like a fall workout. His first professional at bat, he hit a home run, and it was right-handed. It was in the raindrops. There was a lot of footage of it at the time. You can probably look it up on YouTube. And then last year, Futures game, first ever Futures game. Hit a pitch very similar to the one you just saw on your screen, high fastball, demolished it. And that was in LA. Long home run. And then he went crazy in his first postseason action and helped his team win. And look at him hustle down the line. I mean, spring training, first at bat. The kid's going to be a beast. I got to give a round of applause to the Martian. Pennywise says baseball is back. 2-2-2. Appreciate that.
Absolutely. Hey.
And Hirsch says Matsui also went from center field to left field. Yeah, Matsui was a great and renowned center fielder in Japan. And when he came to the Yankees, they shifted him to left field, where he was, I think, really solid. He was just one of those guys who always seemed to have his head in the game, made the right plays. But this is really more about Dominguez. I mean, physically, he's a freak. He's 20 years old. He's, built like, excuse the expression, a brick shithouse, which only recently did I really try and imagine. I was walking by a porta potty, and I was looking at how big and tall and wide it was, and if it was made out of brick, I was like, wow, brick shithouse would be huge. But I mean, it's fun. It's spring training, and it's really exciting to get a look at these young prospects. I wish we could have seen Volpe today. I think we're going to see Volpe tomorrow. Might see Peraza tomorrow. I was a little bit alarmed when I got the lineup from Brian Hoke, and it was IKF leading off and playing shortstop. I couldn't believe that. But anyway, Sihaj says, Jasson, everyday left fielder to start the season.
It doesn't work that way.
I don't think so. But stranger things have happened. Albert Pujols was one of those guys who nobody was expecting to win a job when he came to spring training, and then he went berserker. It does happen. But I think the Yankees know he's good. They know he's physically talented. They know he's a good human being. And they realize that if they get him the proper amount of work in the minor leagues and let those natural talents come through, he's going to be one hell of a player. All right, we got a update here from Born2648. Thank you for the dono. Says exit velo was 109.7, 420 feet. Brad says he got PTSD from seeing IKF at shortstop. That's pretty good. Sehaj says, Sweeney impressed me today. He impressed me as well. Could he be a third baseman of the future? If Volpe or Peraza is going to be your shortstop of the future, Sweeney's also a shortstop. So he's going to have to figure out somewhere else to play. The fact that he's a left-handed hitter, he's a college hitter, he's an advanced hitter, I like. He's got a good arm. He's another person that they say is just great in the clubhouse. The Yankees seem to be putting a lot of emphasis recently on getting good people in the room. And to their credit, that's something that's very important to winning teams, to have, good chemistry. You go back to those 90s teams. I know some of you are too young to remember that now, but those teams were all just really great guys who really liked playing for and with one another. And I say for one another because there are times when somebody has, a bad day and you want to pick them up, right? You want to go out there and, put the focus back on something else if somebody's struggling, and it was just a real cohesive team through those late 90s. Let's see here. Frankie says, what was Yes Network showing today that was so much more important than the first game of spring training? I think because they're set up to do Sunday and Monday. I mean, it's, you've got the whole crew down there, Meredith and Jack and, probably a few other folks going to Tampa Clearwater, I'm not sure how far away it is from Tampa, but they probably just didn't want to move the whole production. You know, they figured, let's just cover the first home game. And there weren't really a lot of Yankees stars in there today. It was more about the prospects. We had a couple of regulars. IKF was in there. Harrison Bader played, but he was a DH today with Dominguez out in center field. So, hey, look, really, really fun game to watch from a prospects situation. But, you know, look, you like to win every game, even in spring training, but really the results of the game don't matter. But it was fun to get a look at these guys. Let's see here. Kian says, shortstop Volpe, Peraza second base, and Sweeney third base. I mean, there's real potential that could happen. We always say that, you know, we project our prospects. I remember it was going to be Andujar at third base for a while, and then, what was it? What the guy we traded plays for Baltimore now? Mateo. It was going to be Mateo at shortstop. We project these guys out, and you look at the publications that do the projections years into the future, and you see the prospects listed, and you get excited. It rarely works out that way, and also the fans like it when you sign people. I know a lot of fans want the Yankees to sign Machado next year. I don't think it's going to happen. I do think that realistically you could see 3 young players in Sweeney, Peraza, and Volpe in a couple of years make up the bulk of the infield. I think that DJ LeMahieu's under contract for a while. You might see him switch to first base once Rizzo's contract runs out, and at that point, you know, all bets are off. Donaldson is only under contract through this year, so I think he's going to be gone. It'll be interesting to see who he's working with this spring to get, you know, reps, you know, as we try and prepare for the handing off of the torch. Frankie says, Clearwater's 44 minutes away from Tampa. Yeah, you don't want to bring whole production down there. THG says, do you think Volpe will play in the next game? I do.
That is correct.
He should be in there tomorrow. Kian says he misses Andujar. I miss the good Andujar who could hit. I don't miss the guy who, after the labrum injury, just was never the same. Asking Argena says, third baseman Cabrera. You know, that's something that could happen. Cabrera really impressed me last year. I think he's got a future as your utility guy. I would be inclined to start him as the opening day left fielder just because I have zero faith in Aaron Hicks. I talked about this last night on the podcast with Andrew Rotundi. If you missed that, it was a really good conversation. Just go to my YouTube page, and it should be the second video back under the live tab because it was great talk. We got into some details about why we think Aaron Hicks is not a regular everyday player anymore. And to me, that job should be wide open. So, all right, guys. Well, I will see you after tomorrow's game. It was super fun to see Dominguez light it up. I'm in love with the kid. You know, I think he's going to be an absolute star. I've liked everything that I've seen from him. Love the hustle. Love the arm that we've seen in minor league highlights. Love the power from both sides of the plate. The batting eye, the speed. Kid's got it all.
Hey everybody, if you've made it this far, we thank you. If you'd like to support NYY Recaps, please like and subscribe or pay a visit to our Shopify store for some great Yankees merch.
Yes.
If you're watching on YouTube, the link is in the description. But if you're listening to the audio version of this podcast, just visit NYYRecaps.shop. If you really want to support NYY Recaps and help keep the show going year after year, join up as a member.
Join us.
It's $5, and members get their names up in lights during each post-game show. We're also on all podcast platforms, Instagram, and Twitch this year. So give us a follow if you use any of those platforms. We're expanding, and we have you to thank for making this such a great community. We'll see you next time.
It is your destiny.
Case closed.
Ball game over.
Most impressive.